All right, it's time for us to start building our project. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first sort of Cypress thing that we need to do to get that to pass. So that's going to be, can we navigate home using the logo? Now, if we take a look, because that doesn't really tell us very much, if we go to the view.js one, that's going to be this thing. So I need some kind of like nav bar, and I need like the logo, and then it needs to be clickable to take me back. So it's going to be some kind of link that shows up in here. So let's go ahead and like sort of start setting these things up. Gonna head over here. Right now we just have our hello world in the main. I want to sort of change that. So we're gonna bring things over to a library. Lib.rs. I want to bring app over. So I'm gonna cut you out, put you in here. This you prelude, I'm gonna cut you out. Bring you in here, make you public. Okay, back to main. Okay, so you need, so I'll just import you. And everything should still be good. I have our trunk running on a process back here. So just to make sure that this is still running, I'm going to go ahead and update you with some exclamation points. And there we go. Okay, everything is happy. You know, the next thing that I do, because this is really bright, let's sort of go ahead and set up some global CSS here to sort of make things less bright for us. I'm going to do that in our index.html. I'm going to throw that in here. Gonna have a style. And I want, see, this should probably just be like HTML. We could just do like everything in the body. So select the body, we'll do a background color and black. All right, very nice. However, we should probably set all text to be something a little bit brighter than black. So we're gonna do just a color of, what do I wanna do? We can choose something like antique white. That way it won't be quite as stark against the black, but still extremely visible. So there we go. So we have our hello world. And now this is in the lib.rs file. Okay, so I know that I'm going to want to go like to be able to navigate to the create-account route. So we need Yew.rs installed. I often just am just using the documentation for this type of thing all the time, just to make sure that I'm doing things right. So I'm gonna go to concepts router. I just want to make sure that it really is Yew.rs. Not the lock file. I want the toml file. And I'll paste that in. And 0.16. Okay, so REST Analyzer is going to take a little bit of time for it to set this up, read through everything. It's almost done. I'm going to create like a view, a page to load that the Yew.rs loads for this. So I'm going to go ahead and create in source a new folder. I'm going to call these maybe like pages. We're going to have a mod.rs in here, And we know we're going to have this create account.rs. Okay, so you're going to be a pub mod create accounts. And then in the main library, I usually do these, like I go back and forth between doing them above the uses and below the uses. I think we're going to do them above the uses. So I don't need to make this public. We're just going to mod pages. Okay, let's create a very basic create account page for this. You're going to be a use Yew prelude to okay, so create account, pub function, create account. I don't think we need to take anything in. This is going to be loaded from the router anyways. And in this case, I just want to return, we're probably just going to use H1s for these. And yeah, we're just going to use H1s and then just return like what page we're on. So we're on create account. Okay, you're happy there. We need a router file to be created. So let's see, we need Yew prelude. And we need, oh right, Yew router doesn't have a prelude. So we need a route. Let's go ahead and double check what we need. We need a route enum that's going to, oh, it does have a Yew router here for prelude. Rust analyzer. See if it just yells at us because it can't find it. So far it's happy. Let's find out. Okay, so I need this enum to derive clone, routable, and partial equal. We'll just go ahead and set that up now. So we're gonna derive. I actually have a previous sort of a derive snippet that I've set up for VS Code. It always comes in with debug. I don't need it here. We need clone. We need routable and partial equal. So, routable, partial equal. I am not getting auto completions right now, so I wonder if I need to restart the Rust analyzer, which happens every once in a while. Okay, let's do a pub enum. This is route, and I think it's this entire at thing here. So for slash, I don't necessarily have anything that I need to go with. We should, however, create a home. And also set this up. So use Yew prelude star. Function component. You're going to be home. HTML. Okay, so let's just do a H1 for home. Okay, so we're here. Okay, router. I want you to be home, so we're gonna call you home. Then we're going to do another one for create account now. So at / create account. Create account. Okay, great. So you're happy now. If we come back to our documentation, I want we're gonna do, okay, so switch. We need to create this switch function, which is gonna match the routes and return the HTML snippets for us. Okay, so function switch. You don't need anything special. You're just a function for this. You are going to take in the routes. So the route, which is a reference, I think. Yes, to this route enum. And we're going to return HTML. So we're going to match the route. Match this route. I've noticed recently that I need to have my cursor on the actual, thing that I'm matching for it to fill the match arms. If I'm inside of here, it tries to do something different, which is not necessarily what I want to have happened. Okay, so now I need access to the home and create account. So we're going to do a use. So where are we? We're here in router. I need to go I need to go up to lib because I'm a child of lib and go to pages. So if I do use, create will be easy enough. Pages, create account, create. I can do the thing where I put these here. And let's now do home. So I'll make it a little bit easier to add new ones. We'll just add it into this single use statement. And now we're going to say that I want you to be HTML. For home, we want you to be home. And for create accounts, you are create account. Okay, that's you. Back to our main library. We do need to set up this browser router here, which I believe is going to come in through the Yew.rs prelude. Now you can find it. Prelude. Okay. Browser router. And close it off. This H1, I don't necessarily need this right here. I'm going to move you up here, and then, but because of like this entire thing, we're going to use a little fragment. And I need to make sure you're all on the correct. Here we go. Browser router. Oh, and then we need this switch here. So inside of browser router, we're going to use a switch component, which I believe comes in with the prelude. So switch, we tell it it's going to be that route, which it doesn't know about. So we have to pull that in. So this is going to be use router route. Let's actually go ahead and bring in, because we need both these things. We need route and we need the switch function. Okay, switch route. We need this render equals. And then we're going to call the switch render. And then inside of that, we pass in the switch function, just a reference to it. And I think that's everything we need here. Okay, that was a lot of coding and we haven't tested anything out, but I want to see if that works. So let's head over here. All right, we're in home, and if I go to /create account, we are in create account. Okay, we don't have any links back. So if I, we're gonna go back to Cypress. Now, one thing that I can do is I can hit rerun all the tests, or I can just hit Command R or Control R, and that will just refresh and rerun all the tests here. So we notice it does successfully go to create account. I can go ahead and stop that. But now it's trying to get data-test equals logo to sort of see the top left thing and then be able to click on it, and it can't find it. So that's the next thing we need to do is actually create this thing. If we investigate what we have, that is right here. We have this link. It's an A tag, and it has the data-test equals logo on it. So that's what we need to do too. Which does, of course, mean we need this component. We need like an entire component that's going to hold all the nav. Sort of like in the atomic sort of structure, this is a link, so that's going to be an atom. These are also links or buttons, or like they're sort of link buttons. Those are also going to be atoms. Then sort of put together, this feels like this might be a molecule here. Like sort of they're together, they need to go over there. So we have some molecules, and then an organism would be the entire nav bar. So I want to start creating that now. Let's see, where do I want to create that? I'm going to create a, not file, a folder in here called components. And I'm going to create another folder called, what are we going to call this? This is going to be the organisms. So in components, we need a mod.rs. In organisms, we need a mod.rs. Sort of like all the way down. Okay, so you are going to have a pub mod organisms. And in our main library, we're going to mod components. So that way, that's how we're going to get through it. So we go to components, then components knows about organisms, and then organisms knows about all, well, the organisms. All right, let's add a new one, which is going to be navbar. And it's really important that we create all like the mods and set that up first. Otherwise, we're not going to get any help from VS Code and Rust Analyzer. It just doesn't look into what's happening. Okay, so what are we doing here? I want to create a just singular component that's going to like load up other components. But for right now, we can just have it just hold like a little placeholder. So let's see, use prelude. Need to tell you, hey, it's HTML. And what are we gonna do here? I'm thinking right now, because eventually this is going to be like buttons on like a link on the left, and then we have like some other stuff in the middle, and then some other stuff on the right. This is probably, we could probably just set this up as a section tag. That's going to be that nav bar. And then right now, I don't really have anything that I want to put in here. I'm just going to say nav bar, just that I know that it's actually loading up in there correctly. Okay, so we're going to take you. And then I want to put this, I don't want to put it in the pages. I want to put this in the library because I want this to show up everywhere. So this is probably going to replace this H1 here. So let's do a use components. Then inside components, we have our organisms, and inside organisms, we're going to have our navbar. All my sort of like work to prepare for bringing those in with all those curly brackets. Rest Analyzer doesn't care about that. It just makes it look good for the now as opposed to the future. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to replace you now. And we're going to have a nav bar like that. So there's our nav bar. Okay, so what's next? I kind of like the idea of this, this sort of like the border along the bottom of the nav bar, just to make sure that it's fairly obvious where this, like that the nav bar is here, all these buttons are up here, and then everything else is down below. Because of that, where do I want to put that? CSS wise, we can throw that on the section itself, or we can put it like sort of in the body looking this section. We have to decide who's in charge of like styling this specific thing. Maybe the nav bar itself is, like maybe that page. I guess it's not a page. Maybe the component knows about like how big it is. So right now, if I come in here and we do a border bottom, let's do like 1 pixel solid. Alice blue is what it starts with. That's, I mean, it's hard for me to see any difference between it and white against the black background. I don't necessarily want to use white, but the same color that we use for the text, we could be good. We could do antique white. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. And then I'm probably going to want to like set some margins and other borders up, which means we need stylist. So let's go crates stylist. I just do this all the time to make sure I'm getting the correct spelling of it, because if I accidentally grab the wrong one, then it's possible that somebody has like gotten and did that. And just like npm, if you're running Node, there's like a post install, like a pre-build script that can run on your computer and do not so great things if it's a compromised crate. Let's head back to cargo.toml. We're going to throw you in. Okay, let Rest Analyzer do its thing, and then we're going to head to navbar. We're going to see if we can put this in here and how well that ends up looking. So oh, right, stylist I think is the one that doesn't have the prelude. Okay, let's create our styles here. So that style sheet equals, I'm going to use Is it style macro? I can never remember. Use stylist. Yeah, there's no prelude. There, style macro. Oh, now you're happy doing this. Okay. Then we'll put in an R pound. Oh, it's not that, it's quotes. Okay, so now we can, what do we want to start set up with this? Right now for our section, we know we just want a border bottom. And we're probably going to want to style these things here. So I'm happy with us saying, right now I'm going to keep it just on this one. We can refactor out later when we need to. So we're just going to say the border 1 pixel solid. What did we call it? Antique white. I can do this as border bottom too, because that's all I care about. Apparently that's where that wants to go, so we'll just do, there we go with you, and then we'll do a class equals style sheet. Do we have an error? Well, we do have an error. Trait is not satisfied. Oh, because it's this result that we see here. I want to do, it's okay. It is style. Oh, it is, there is an unwrap, or in this case, an expect for this. I'm okay with doing an unwrap for you. That gives us a style, okay. Now you're upset. Do you need to be like a reference? We have our style string. Let's see. I don't think it needs to be a reference. Is it the style macro? That gives us this style. We can do class equals this thing. Let's see, what else? You're yelling at me about the same thing, right? The trait from style is not implemented for classes. There's I do remember there is the documentation for it. That's not necessarily in here. I believe we can maybe find better documentation somewhere in here to show off like how to use it. Like where, okay, we create the style. There's also style new. You're not setting those up. style macro. Okay, returns a style instance. Ooh, do I need that feature? You seem to be happy with this. Let's see, the treat bound, style is not satisfied. Required because impl convert into Yew classes. Right, so if I do a like dot on here, what do I get? Nothing. So Yew is super, oh, sorry. VS Code is unhelpful for me. So I have this style. How about here? Okay, I could clone, I could get the class name, I can get the style string, the ID, the into, or unregister. I vaguely remember we can do, is it classes instead of class? I think. No, because you're still upset about this. Virtual DOM attribute value is not implemented for style. Okay, so I feel like I'm missing like something here, and I forgot. It's like a constant thing that I run into is like forgetting how like set this up. Let's go into advanced topics. CSS, let's go. I only have a style, not the sheet. Style sheets. I have this style, which is a style. And I want to do that there. It's like, I know it does like the weird class equals thing to that. I want to look at their examples really quickly. Integration. Wait, where's the style stuff? Oh, source. That's where it is. Main. Okay, so we create. Oh, it's CSS. Oh, it's C. Okay, I think I'm using the wrong macro. Instead of style, I want to use CSS. There is no unwrap. It's a style source. Let's see now. Now how about you? Classes required because the requirements, the impl of that. Let's go back and like double check. Okay, so we have this. They're doing this div class equals CSS. There's the entire R# thing. That's what we're doing. So I'm just putting this into a variable first before I hand it to them. All of this stuff is good. And then I would close that out. That goes into a class. Oh, you know what we're forgetting? Styled component. Yeah. Okay, instead of a function component, this now needs to be a styled component. Which you can't find that in there. Oh, I wonder if that's a feature. I bet the styled component is a feature that we're going to need to bring in. So let's go find. Okay, here's stylist. I want styled component. Okay, create features Yew and macros only. Okay, so we're gonna bring that in really quickly. Cargo.toml, stylist, version equals that. Features equals an array. We want Yew. Okay, let's try this again. Where we have there we go. Okay, use stylist Yew. Okay, there we go. Styled component, and you are a nav bar. Now we do the CSS, which gives us a style source, the style sheet, and then that's perfectly fine. So that's what the issue was here. If we come back to our code, we'll now see there is our bottom border. Let's also go ahead and set up like a little bit of a padding all around everything. I also realized that like things are kind of really set here. I just keep somewhere around here. Here it is. I keep a Meyer reset library around. I'm just going to use this Cloudflare one. Let's copy the entire link tag. I'm going to throw this into the index.html. Let's put it above the styles. And that's going to reset all the styles for us. That way it should be a little bit more consistent across different browsers. Then I also just found that it's just helpful in making things like work the way, like there's no styles that are like weird that Firefox decided to sort of add in by default. Okay, so I want a margin around everything here. Let's just try going to navbar. Let's just add in for everything. Let's just see what happens if I do a margin like I don't know, 20 pixels. I go back and forth on using things like rems and then like pixels. If you use pixels, then for other devices, which we're not, again, this is not styling. We're not going to go into like breakpoints and everything else, but I might do something like a breakpoint with like hard-coded pixels and then just sort of like set everything for different view sizes. Sometimes that just makes things a little bit easier. That's a lot here. And I want to do padding. So that way this is like the border stays on the margin, the padding's on the inside, and then I like to the left, I'm okay with that. But I don't want that to be like top and bottom. So it starts top and bottom. So let's do something like 10 pixels and then maybe 20 pixels left and right. So that gives us that there. And then I'm probably, I'm running out of time for this morning where I'm coding. So I'm gonna have to continue this in the next video, but we now need to like turn this into a link and then give it that data dash tag and have it send back to create account. But so far, I think we've got a sort of like a good pace going on, and only one little problem we ran into so far. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.